We're live.
Go.
Hey!
Welcome, everybody. We are here from Vision to Success, your friendly neighborhood podcast.
Nice.
Oh, where did that come from?
It's because legit, I'm like super nervous today. We are here in person, as you guys can see us. We have a super awesome guest right here, Michael Bunt. This sexy man is my husband.
It's a surprise to you. It's a surprise to me.
We just literally told him like what, today or yesterday?
Yeah. It was like just recent.
You told me last night as we went to bed. I'm like, what? And then I couldn't sleep for 2 hours.
Oh yeah. So he's our beautiful guest today. Look at him. Beautiful. But as you know, I am Maria Bunt, your mindset BFF, and this is
Coach Martinez. Walk one, people. How you doing?
You forget to say the people's coach. Come on.
The people's.
Sí se puede. That's like.
Like that.
Oh gosh, we're so excited to be here with you guys. We're excited to do this new setup. So it kind of brings a different energy. As you guys know, if you guys are close to us in Ontario, in the GTA area, you know that today is a day that there is no more mask mandates. Yeah. So I am legit excited to celebrate. We decided to come together and just be in one setting. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, this is pretty good. So I didn't realize how much it needed to do to set, like how much more mics we needed and all these different things. So as we continue to grow,
literally more mics, but also more mics.
Yeah. More mics. The unit that we're using can take up to 4 mics plus the phone incoming calls, Bluetooth, right?
Okay.
So we can at one point start taking in calls.
Oh my god, that would be so excited, right?
Can you imagine how cool would that be?
That'd be pretty
sick. That'd be super sweet.
Taking questions. Anyways, get some haters.
Oh, absolutely. I love me some haters. Listen, haters come out of the woodworks. That means we're growing.
I know. I don't know how you can deal with that though.
Legit. I'm like, I get excited because haters only come up when you're shining. If you're not shining, who's going to hate on you? That's true. Because nobody really knows who you are or like knows what you're about. Sure, you can have a hater here and there.
I'm very sensitive.
Haters need a clear target.
The what?
Haters need a clear target.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, that's what we're gonna provide. I'm excited. So if you're a hater, I'm excited for you.
don't do it on purpose. Like don't promote hating. This one. What's happening? So do you want to tell them what we're going to be talking about today?
Oh my gosh, I would love to. So today's a really exciting topic. You guys know that the month of, what month are we on?
March, dude.
Yes, the month of March has all been about family relationships, about family dynamics. So today we are talking about dating.
Now dating before you get married?
No, this is a fun one. This is actually, I didn't date a lot actually. Truth be told, I didn't date a lot before getting married.
How long were you guys together before you guys got married?
8 months.
Stop it.
Yes.
How did I not know this?
Yeah. Have we never told you?
No, 8 months?
8 months from start to finish. Shotgun wedding. Like legit, I was not pregnant, but everybody was like, are you pregnant? Is that why you're getting married so quick? Because I met him July.
Yeah, end of July.
End of July, so July 22nd. We started dating August 1st. We got engaged.
So you met July
22nd.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we started dating August 1st.
Okay.
We were engaged
November 1st.
And we got married
March
27th. It's actually, you know what?
It's actually this Sunday.
This Sunday we hit 12 years and we have 4 kids.
Dang.
I know, right?
8 months from knowing to marriage to vows.
Yeah. I never thought that was going to happen that way. I would have thought at least a year.
Yeah.
I pushed for a year before we got married. But then it just so happened that like we had mentors, people from church, I would say, like our bishops, right? So they're like mentors to us, right? And we counseled together and realized that for Mike and I, it was a better idea to get married beforehand. It's been the best decision though.
Well, obviously you guys were scared.
100%.
Well, I wanted to get married in May because we were already engaged. I was like, let's do May. It's my birthday month. Why not? And then she's like, no, let's do like August. That way we were together a year. I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. My dad always said be together for a year because then we go through all the holidays, this and that, get to know their family better and whatever. And then her bishop on one Sunday and my bishop on the same Sunday, we're both like, have you thought about moving it up? And so then Marina calls me and she's like, hey, I think we should move it up. I'm like, why? She's like, well, my bishop was mentioning. I was like, so was mine.
Okay, so this is the cool thing. And one thing that has always stuck with me, my bishop actually said, he's like, just because you're waiting, it doesn't mean that you're more ready. And I thought to myself, and I'm like, you know, like now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, that was great advice. Sometimes we're waiting and we're thinking that like more time, more experience, we do more of this is going to make us more ready.
Yeah.
In reality, it didn't.
Or even it can go the opposite way. You already know it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And you just need to cut it.
Yeah, absolutely. But for us, clearly it worked. Here we are 12 years later.
I will. It's okay. So society normally says wait. You know, sometimes people are dating for 5-10 years, and, and then
we just got engaged. We can get married 2024.
Yeah, and then the engagement sometimes is like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So 8 months, like that's like out of the norm.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people thought I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were like, or sometimes I'd get questions like, "Are you sure? Like you just met him? Are you sure?" I was like, 100%.
So hang on one second. So something just came to mind. So pretty much, so we're talking about dating your spouse and whatever. So pretty much, your whole dating was wedding planning.
Oh, I did all that.
Oh yeah. Guys, that's why this man, I have to give him a shout out. You guys have heard me speaking about my Michael. I'd be dead. Like we know I'd be dead had it not been for him.
So you planned the entire wedding?
Pretty much. She just told me like colors, like things like that. And pretty much I ran off with like, and we tasted food together and stuff like that. But like, yeah, like booking the DJ, booking this and that, deciding what we're doing, the timeline, renting the car, like, cause I just wanted to rent a big SUV for the wedding party. So we're all driving together instead of doing a limo. So like I booked all that. I followed up with the florist, made sure everyone had the payments, all that stuff.
He's a project manager. He like 100%. He project managed everything in our life, like our wedding, our vacations, our meal plans. Like every like what? Friday, Thursday, he's like, all right, babe, let's sit down.
We're like, we need to go grocery shopping. I'm like, well, let's plan our menu for next week then so we know what we're buying.
I know. I fought it for so long. I used to get so annoyed.
I'm the opposite. I was the opposite. I was you. I'm like, Tangy just told me, just show up this day, this time, and this is where you're going to stand. I'm like, got it.
Listen, that's why both you and I needed Tegan and Mike.
Yeah,
like we all, exactly, or else we wouldn't be here.
What is it? There's always a dancer and
what was the other? A dancer and I forget what the other one.
Whatever. We all know you're the dancer and I'm the whatever.
Yeah, you need a planner and you need a dancer, right? I'm like the dancer. I'm the one that goes with the feelings, that's excited, that like pumps you up. And then Mike is like, hold on a minute. Let's actually make sure that we can do this.
I get excited for things.
Yes, you do. 100%. But he's the one.
Not that I'm like
no. He's like 100%. But all the time he's like, hold on, Maria. Can we actually do this? Instead of me being like, yes, we can do it. And he's like, let's reel it back.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Now that you guys are like, obviously, how long you been married now?
12
years. This Sunday.
And how often do you date?
We make it a priority. We do our skating date night.
That's true.
So for the last, I would say 2 months, 3 months.
It was 6 lessons.
Okay, so for the last month,
but we signed up for another 10.
Okay, so for the last month and a half,
what are you guys doing that for? Sorry, I know this has nothing to do with the podcast, but
what do you mean?
Skating? Yeah, why are you guys doing skating lessons?
Because I haven't skated since the 6th grade, and even then, I was not good.
Because you got to put yourself out there. If we're asking our kids to learn how to skate, how the heck are we supposed to go out and skate with them if we're not learning it ourselves, right? We can't just expect our kids to go out and do things that we want them to do and experience life without ourselves putting ourselves out there. So that's the reason why Mike and I did it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so you just take that as an opportunity to date.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our date night. It's Friday nights.
It's intentional. We're together. We're laughing.
And no kids.
No kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is that important?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
100%. Like we've always said in our relationship that him and I are the most important. Kids come second. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people will put kids before their marriage, where with us, it's not like that at all. We make
sure our kids have the staples. They're alive.
Our kids are
fed.
They're
fed.
They're safe.
Clean night. We're like,
child service is going to get called on you guys.
Like sometimes we would take the
Willoughbys. If you guys have seen,
gosh.
Okay, in Netflix, there's this movie called The Willoughbys. And there's the worst parents ever because they only are like worried about each other. And the kids are pretty much fending for themselves. So if you've seen the Willoughbys, let me know. We're not the Willoughbys.
Yeah. No.
But no, we do put a priority because the kids are going to leave. They're going to leave us.
Yeah. And at times we've said like we've taken like the baby with it. Like if someone's an infant, we'll take them with us on like a dinner date or something.
Infants now?
But now we don't know.
Yeah, now we go. We're like, peace out.
So 4 kids.
For kids. We got more
Because after 20,
I'm like excited.
20
Number
like,
5, right?
Number 5. No, that ship has sailed.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah. Mike is like, oh my gosh. Sure, babe. Tell everybody your business.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm not ashamed.
Okay. All right. So you date once a week?
Yeah, we try to.
With the skating, before, I mean, with kids and stuff, it has been busy. Sometimes it's once a month, but it's always, we're kind of like, we need a date night. Like, we'll kind of stop and be like, okay, we need to go and get some time alone. Because even being at home saying, okay, the kids are asleep, and we like it that our kids are in bed by a certain time, so we have time together.
Yeah.
But then sometimes that time is cleaning dishes or getting ready for the next day, so you don't really actually have the time to talk and connect. So
I did a conference like years ago. It was a women's conference. Actually, it was like 300-400 ladies, and some brought their husbands and stuff like that. Anyways, there was one lady asked, it was Treble. So shout out to Treble out there if you're listening. But they asked a question. I was part of a panel, and then they were having trouble with their kids, right? And so the thought came to my mind is you gotta not just date your spouse, but you also have to date your kids. Have you guys ever
No, that's something we want to start doing.
Yeah.
We've talked about that for the last few months, actually.
We have before, but it's not been consistent.
Yeah,
we
do things.
Once in a while, but it's different. You're absolutely right, because I'm like, it's harder to get to know your child if you're always around multiple people.
Right.
Like, your child shines differently when it's just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So I think it is definitely important, and I think it's a priority that needs to be set.
Yeah. And remember a couple of podcasts ago, I was telling you that I was struggling. I was butting head to heads with my second born.
Yeah.
So that's the approach. I took my own medicine. And so we've literally started, and I would always spend time with him. So I can't say that I've never have, but now I just consciously made an appointment to just spend more. He needed more of me, right? Because we were the ones that were butting heads. And so we just started spending even more and more time. I got Lego. Like, he's a big lover of Lego, right?
Yeah.
And so I got the Superstar Adidas Lego shoe. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I got. Superstar Adidas has always been my shoe growing up in high school. Anyways, so we were building it together. Something that I would have done on my own, but I'm like here in the office just building it, whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, we'll go grab a donut. We'll do this, and we've been spending more and more time. And I've been complimenting him more.
Yeah.
Which I've noticed that he thrives on being told that he's great. Right.
So his thing is love. His
words
love
of affirmation.
Yeah, his love language is being recognized for.
Yeah.
But again, I would have never. And I know my kid. I just didn't know how much of that. And so, but I only figured that out when I started spending an exponential more time with him. Right.
Have you done the love languages test on your kids?
Not on the kids.
You know, there's a team.
I heard
you should do it. Just to find out even what Seth is and
For
what
all of
them. Yeah, do it for all of them.
How young can you?
Well, he's the children one. The children one, they're like, you can kind of tell already. But they said for most, you want to try and hit all 5 because they're still growing and developing. But then by the time they're a teen, you'll know. You can do the test on them.
Do they change? Like let's say if they're affirmations while they're young, could it change when they're teenagers?
Yeah, it can change when you're an adult, even.
I guess so, but I'm like, sometimes it's more the dialect changes. So each love language has like its overall love language, but the dialect could be different. So just because, let's say, both Mike and I were acts of service doesn't mean that we would experience love the same way. The dialect would be slightly different, which he's not acts of service.
What are you?
Words of affirmation.
Yeah,
so he would totally get Seth.
Yep.
And not Seth.
Elias.
Yeah, I'm more of affirmation as well.
Are you really?
I need to be told like I'm special, important all the time.
You matter.
I do. I really do.
See that, babe? That's how you do it.
I'm sure that totally building him up.
Oh, it felt so good. Oh my gosh. No, but yeah, and Tegan is acts of service. Like, that is her. Like, she is like through the roof acts of service. Anyways, if you don't know if what 5 love languages, right?
Gary
Dr.
Chapman.
Gary Chapman. just Google him. There's actually a link to doing the
Tests
test online
for free.
For free.
Yep.
You don't have to pay anything. Do it for free. It'll ask you online. You can do it with your kids as well. And then once it comes up, you pretty much it tells you there. It gives you a little blurb, and it's a good way to get to know your kids, your spouse. When Mike and I first got married, I'm a huge acts of service. So I thought that me cooking a meal for him was important. I thought having a clean house was important. When in reality, he was like, okay, thanks. But he's more words of affirmation, physical touch. And I wasn't fulfilling that. And when he wasn't feeling loved, I'm like, what's your problem? Don't you see a clean house? But
literally, and literally word for word, that's exactly what happened. Like that has happened in the past in my house as well. Like she'll make me breakfast and I'm like, thanks. She goes, that's it? She's like, well, I mean, I could have done that as well, right? Like, I mean, it's not a big thing, but for her it was because that's her love language.
Yeah.
It's she doesn't understand that. Anyways, and I didn't understand that was.
But even you saying thanks though is you showing words of affirmation. So you were expressing your love language. Because there's been times when it's like you didn't even say thank you. You say your words of affirmation. I'm like, I did say thank you. It's just it didn't register as much with you because you didn't. So now I'll start would be like, thanks, babe, and then I'll go, Maria. She'll stop and look at me and go, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I am saying it, just making sure it's registering.
Yeah. Because I do believe that words of affirmation are important, whatever love language you are. Because I have struggled in the past where I feel like I am doing, like, at least trying to go in above and beyond. And Mike recognizes it, but I guess I don't hear it, or maybe I'm preoccupied, or maybe like he says it and I'm just kind of doing something else. But when he stops me and he's like, hey, like the other day, he stopped me and he's like, Maria, he's like, I'm proud of you. That meant a lot. I was like, shoot, thank you. So, I'm gonna get all teary.
And then I was like, come down, where's your elephant?
Okay, can I just tell you, this guy.
Don't even go there.
Okay.
Don't even go there.
I'm drinking my water. This
Drink
is
the
my
Kool-Aid,
water.
buddy. Drink the
Seriously.
Kool-Aid.
Okay,
Drink,
so show him.
Drink.
Okay, so this is our water. See, we even have his and hers water bottles.
So
and he goes,
that's civil.
Okay, first
savage. Like honestly,
I'm drinking my water before the podcast. Okay, I'm trying to get hydrated, and he's like, "What did he tell me?" He's like, and looks at me. He's like, "Can you at least drink a little more ladylike?" I'm like, "What?"
You have no idea what I was listening to. Like it was like this water. She was fighting with the water to go down.
I was wrestling.
I'm like, there's an animal in there, and it's fighting to come back up. I'm like, drink a little bit more like ladylike. But she was like pounding.
Seriously, this guy hating.
It was the
hating
funniest.
on my water.
I'm not hating. I'm just hating on the way that you're drinking the water. It was like, I'm like, calm down.
Okay.
Savage.
Yeah, okay, fine. I didn't realize how loud I was. All I was concentrating on is just getting water in because I was really thirsty when I was getting nervous and I'm like trying to drink water.
Oh my gosh. So the question I was going to ask you is, so everybody has everybody has a primary and everybody has a secondary. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For the love language?
What's your secondary?
So my secondary used to be gifts. So when we did the test, right, you do the test online and pretty much it tells you what the majority of your questions are going to be like out of the five love languages. So mine was definitely acts of service. And then my second one, it said it was gifts.
I thought it was
gifts, the second.
I thought it was quality time.
It changed to quality time. But it changed to quality time when you were traveling a lot.
No.
Mike traveled a lot for work early in our marriage. And I think during that time it changed. But I would say right now, it would be words of affirmation.
For you?
I feel like
as a secondary.
Because they do really mean a lot when you stop me and when you look at me and you're like, hey, you're doing a good job, or hey, I appreciate this and this. And the thing with words of affirmation, you have to be specific. You can't just give an umbrella statement.
Compliment,
yeah. When you're doing compliments, it has to be genuine. It has to be specific.
Preach, babe.
What's yours?
Words of affirmation.
What's happening right now? Let's keep this PG.
Maria's needed some practice. Let's just.
Oh, 100%.
What's your secondary?
I can't remember. Physical touch. Yeah.
See, did you see me?
See?
There I go.
I
That's why
Yeah, I'm not physical type. So I'm words of affirmation, and then mine's just gifts.
Is what? Gifts? Yeah.
I love gifts. I love receiving.
Dang, I was gonna bring macarons this morning, but we ate them all.
I don't like macaroons.
So there you go. Work
Macarons, like the actual French, like the little sandwich cookies.
Say it right. Macarons.
Macaron.
Who?
Macaron.
Maquin?
Macaron.
Ma what?
Des macarons.
Babe, I forgot to tell you there's no big words here.
Oh yeah,
for,
Ah, oui.
that's our number one rule. It's
Désolé.
like, it should be right up there. No big words when podcasting.
Désolé.
When we have people over, legit, babe. But sometimes we're like trying to get those words out. Like,
Do you remember how many times I've been doing like a workshop with schools and stuff like that, and I'm like trying to explain to them like extraordinary some kids today, Junior. I'm like, you've seen the movie too, huh?
oh my
Like
God.
these kids are like savages.
Kids are brutal.
I know, right? And I'm like, so no big words is a big thing in my life. Okay, so going back to our topic at hand, dating your spouse, and we kind of derailed, but is there a link here
To what?
to love language and dating?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if your love language is quality time, that's exactly what you need. Is you want that one-on-one time. You want someone like where they're focusing on you. You can say, "Oh, well, I'm with the family." No, that doesn't count. Like
Watching TV together is not really quality.
Yeah.
Because that person may not experience quality
Well,
time.
unless they've been specific about it. Maybe it's something they want to watch. Say, "Hey, I know you wanted to watch this video. I'm going to make popcorn. We're going to watch it together." Like.
Yeah.
Being like it's all about being what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, because when Hamilton first came out, like it was a big deal in this house. Right? Like the kids knew they knew every song, or they still know every song by heart. Right? They would sing it, they would walk around, whatever. And so when Disney put out Hamilton, like it was oh my gosh. And so we went to the dollar store, and we just bought $40-$50 worth of just candy treats.
Perk child.
Just
He's got 7, y'all.
not per child. Are you kidding? What kind of money you think I'm making right here? We bought a lot of
$1,000 worth of candy right there from the dollar store.
But we're even talking about like ice cream. Like it was just legit, right?
Yeah.
And then we just put it on the table, and we had planned for it, and they knew it was coming. So the whole adventure was we're gonna go to the dollar store, we're gonna go to Metro, buy ice cream, get the pop. We're not pop drinkers here, right? And so buying pop like every so often is a big thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same.
so every single one of them were excited, and then we just turned on the lights, powdered blankets, some of them laid on the floor, and so it was a big thing, right?
It's because you made it into an event. I think at the end of the day, all of us want to feel special. Right.
Yeah,
and I'm like, whatever
Yep.
love language you are, you want to make a big deal around it, because sometimes that's what matters most.
Yeah.
The knowing that you're important.
Well, like
and
that's
that you matter.
Well, that's a perfect example. Okay, words of affirmation, guys. We're so happy. We know you love this. We want to do it together. We're going to make it an event, right? You're talking about it. Quality time. We're making it intentional. We're planning this time together,
Yeah.
right? Gifts. Oh, we're going to go buy candy and ice cream and this. It's going to be great, right?
Yeah.
Physical touch. You're huddled together. We're
Yeah.
together. We're touching. What's the last one?
Acts of service.
Acts of service. Just the fact that you're planning it. You're like making the spread.
Even the fact that like you're taking care of going and buying the
Yeah.
candy, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going with the person to go buy the candy and making it into an event.
Yeah, you're hitting
You
all
covered
5.
all the love languages
There you go.
right there,
Right
right?
there with them, right? Yeah, and they still talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And even though we watched movies together, like we watched one the other day, they still remember the Hamilton event, right? Because it was an event. It was something big. It's something that we did or whatever. So yeah, I never really thought about it. We did cover all 5 languages in that particular thing, right?
I think as being like having a big family, especially, I think that's the way you want to roll it, right?
Mhm.
That way you're covering all the.
What's it said too in the 5 so there's like Gary Chapman has written like 8 books. They're all different versions of the 5 love languages. The one for children, he talks about how you can recognize their love language, but then he wrote it with, I can't remember if it was a child psychologist or a pediatrician, but they were saying you just want to cover all 5. Doesn't matter if you kind of say, oh, that's their love language. You still want to cover all 5 up until they're like 11, 12, because they're still developing, they're still learning. Yeah. And it's just too that they are still very emotionally raw, so they feel everything. So any positivity is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. No, that's good. So when I asked, okay, so connecting the the love languages with dating does it have to be always like dinner and a movie?
No, it can be fun and cheap, or it could be just a walk, going for a walk. We've gone for lots of walks together, so that's a date.
That's true.
Anytime that you get to connect with the person,
One-on-one.
Any one-on-one, anything that's planned and intentional counts as a date.
Because group dating could be too, because could count, but you can't be just only doing dates with like other couples. You have to be doing one-on-one as well.
Well, if you think about the reason why you want to date, like, why would you want to date your spouse? Why is it important?
Yeah. So if you ask me, like, before you get married, dating was always exciting. The weekend, you would plan where you would go, and you would, certain gifts, certain hikes, certain treks, certain things, certain events, and so you get excited. And then there was that big reveal that we're doing something. And so I think something happens that when you get married, you think that you don't have time to do something as big anymore. And for the most part, it's true. You now have kids, you now have a mortgage, you now have to work and all these different things. So you may not be able to plan something extravagant.
Yeah.
But what happened, the end result of dating or just being one-on-one with that person is you get to know them, right? Is that when you go mini golf, like my son went on a date the other day, and they went mini golfing. And so he was trying to putt whatever, and she kept throwing her putter in to interrupt his ball, right? And so he quickly realized that she's a jokester, right?
Yeah.
And by little things like that, if they wouldn't have gone, if all they do is just watch movies, that side of her would not have come up, right? And so I think every time you go on a date, whether it's a walk, whether it's just a conversation or whatever, I think you reignite and get to know that person. And I mean, I'm not always with my spouse. You're not always together. You guys are doing your own separate things. And then when you go on dates, you get to talk about what you've experienced in your own life, and then vice versa, and how you reacted to that. And anyway, so I think it's just an opportunity to reconnect and relearn each other's abilities and likes and dislikes.
Yeah, you can't get complacent with your relationship with someone. Oh, we've been together this long, I know everything about them. No, you don't. What happened today? Yeah. Do you really know what went on in their day?
Yeah.
And people change, right? We all have so many different experiences. Our kids changes us. Like there are parts of ourselves that come out that we didn't realize that we had. I will always remember I had a colleague of mine years ago when I first started my nursing career, and her husband had retired. And when her husband retired, he was mostly home. She was in shock. She was like, I feel like I don't know him. Mm. And they had been married for 30 years. And so I remember at that point, I was like, wow, you can be together. You can live with someone for that amount of time, and you can still feel like you don't know them. So that was a true lesson for me, that regardless of having however many kids we were going to have, that I was going to get to know my spouse, and that I was going to put him before everybody. Yeah. Like I tell my kids all the time, who do I love the most? Your daddy.
Yeah. Well, you have to think about, like, I love that you said, what's the why? Like, what was the why of the dating before? It was get to know someone, build a relationship, possibly like find out that you want to get married and build a life together. Well, you need to keep that why. No, well, why? I want to know who they are. I want to provide an excitement for them, an exciting experience, maybe something they've thought about or talked about doing and haven't done yet. You know, like I said, you can't be complacent. You can't take it for granted.
Yeah. Well, Terry here says dating is a part of a healthy marriage.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. It's so true. Yeah.
I think when we stop dating, I think that's when you start. It's the first step to the downfall of that marriage.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. And again, I don't want to make that statement as a blanket statement across the board, because a lot of relationships last, and they don't date or whatever. But it's the first step to like challenging times, right?
Well, it's something you can do to increase your chances of a successful marriage.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
English, second language.
But it's like, do you want to thrive, or do you just want to kind of go through the motions through your marriage? And I think it's really depending on the type of marriage that you want. Yeah. And if you want a good marriage, and one that you feel good about yourself and about your spouse, it's important to date.
Yeah. So if you're listening to us, just let us know what kind of dates that you guys have gone on to. So I think
some good ideas.
What's that?
I find that's a lot of people. I'm like, well, I don't know what to plan. Like, I don't want to just be a dinner and a movie. So yeah, give us some ideas.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Let us know in the comments.
Big, below, small.
What kind of dates before we let go, I want let's give them 2 ideas each.
2 ideas.
2 ideas each.
well, actually, I just had a thought. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you've seen it floating online, but there is this dating book. It's called The Adventure Book.
Oh yeah, we have it.
What?
Yeah, we have it.
Have you guys done it?
So okay.
What? Look at you preaching, going dating. He's
Oh, I got it.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. I bought it, but not for us. I actually bought it as a gift for somebody else, for my in-laws.
Oh, really?
Because he was retiring.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this guy's gonna be like looking for things to do.
This guy. My father-in-law. This guy.
This guy, right? This retiredee. And so I bought him all 3 books for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was the friendship, the family, and the partner. Yeah.
I always see it, and they look so much fun.
Amazing. There's so much. We've done a couple as a family. They're so super fun.
We should do that. We should invest in getting that book.
They're about
and then
$50 each.
We should invest in getting that book and then just kind of doing like
Is it the one where you like take a picture once you've done the event and put it in?
So it's
like
a page. So for those who don't know what it is, it's a pager, and it's a pretty thick page, and whatever. And then there's a hint.
Yeah.
And then there's a timeline, and it tells you how long it's going to take for you to pretty much do the activity, the materials that you're going to need, but it doesn't tell you what the date is. It just says get these things ready, right? So you kind of like get them ready, and if it says it's going to take about 2 hours, then you set aside the 2 hours, whatever. And then if you have to go to a location and you have to do certain whatever, and then you take a like a coin or whatever, and then you scratch off the scratchy part, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it tells you what to do, like what you're going to, what the adventure is. And then the number one rule of the book is that if you scratch it, you do it. So it's like, oh, I can't do this. Right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to do. So you already set aside the hours. You already set aside the material. And so now it's just you just got to do it, right? So there's certain things like baking cookies blindfolded. Can you imagine?
Like trying to find.
So you're not.
So even like, okay, you got to set the ingredients out.
Yeah, you got to set the ingredients, and you don't know what you're baking or you don't know what you're making, right? And then I'm pretty sure you can figure out when you pull out the chocolate chips. But yeah, then you stretch it off, and it's like bake blindfolded, right? Or the other ones have a picnic on a raft on a lake.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of that one with people with their mattresses and
Yeah.
they're like trying to get on.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And so you have to, and then so there's the book, and then you can buy a camera specific to those books that when you take it's like a Polaroid.
Yeah.
But then the shape of it just comes, and there's a section on that page where you can just post the picture so you can remember your whatever.
That sounds so much fun, babe. We
Yeah.
should invest in one of those.
We should give one away.
Oh.
To a lucky cooking together, baking together, duo. So here's you want to read that because that might
I can't say, babe. You have good eyes.
Cooking together, baking together, do a project together. I'm the furthest one from the screen.
I know. Why are we saying this kid to the slaughter? Dates don't always have to have money. Watch a movie outside on the sheets in the backyard. Yes, play.
Oh, I like you because it's so fun. Lots of laughs.
Yes,
oh, that's
absolutely.
so good.
Terry, you're awesome. Absolutely.
I know. Thank you so much for being engaged with us too.
So maybe we can give away one of those adventure books.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so exciting.
Can you imagine? Let's do a competition.
What kind of okay, let's think about it because next week we're going to be coming back on and kind of doing a part 2 of this. So let's kind of think about it, come up with a plan, and then announce it next week.
And we have a guest next week as well, not Mike.
Sandra. Tegan? Oh, Sandra, yes.
Sandra.
Oh my gosh.
Mental health and dating and just doing things as a family as well, just to close off the month. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, so we'll come back at you guys with the details for that contest. Yeah. And I'm excited, but we should totally invest in one of those, babe. Mike is like,
no, I'm thinking of the contest. I think I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
You already put him on this train track.
I know he is a planner, so he's gonna be like, okay, let me create an Excel sheet. Let me put on the.
Ready? Name one date. Go before we go. Quickly.
Okay.
5, 3, 2,
a walk.
1. A walk. Name one.
He would say a walk.
I know because he's.
I know but that's part of your 70-day hard.
For my birthday, she planned us to go on a fun run.
Always throws me
as
under
we're
the
leaving, it's right by Downsview Park in Toronto. As we're leaving it, we're going to our car because we're parked at the TTC at the transit hub because that's where they had the school bus coming from and like the shuttles. And so we go to get in the car and we see all these people with their Blue Jay jerseys on headed to the game that day.
He's a big
and she's
Blue
like,
Jays
she's
fan.
like, oh, there must be a game today. I'm like, oh yeah, that would have been amazing to do for my birthday after going for a fun run.
My
on my birthday.
Okay, I am a work in progress, babe. I have
That
gotten
was
better.
several
I
years
have
ago.
gotten better.
That was several years ago. She is much better. She is much better. She is much.
I'm not
So,
perfect by any means. He will tell you
so
that.
I'm gonna say a sporting event, and I don't even mean like professional level. Go to a local high school game. Go to a university game or college game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to spend a ton.
And you pick a side and just run.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Actually, yeah, I've heard about that before. Was it Jay Palmer? They used to just show up at local like games. You would be driving, you would see a game.
Yeah,
just pull over and just start like rooting for like the opposite team, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
He would totally do that.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if it was him, but he would. That's one of our friends. He's like, yeah, he'd definitely do that.
Yeah.
For me, buy a kite, go kiting. Is that a thing?
Kiting?
Is that a word?
Kiting? I don't think that's a word.
It's a word. Go
Kiting.
Like flying, maybe.
Yeah.
Go kiting.
Go kiting. What?
Go kiting. That's a word, no? Go kiting.
AKA flying a kite. That's translating Miguel.
So actually, I took Tegan go kiting, and then she was not impressed. So get to know your spouse before you plan a date. She was just like sitting on the hill, and I'm like, "Look, we can have fun together." She's like, "When can we go home?"
Okay, yeah.
Well, maybe get 2 kites then.
No. Like I was setting it up. Like she's never flown a kite, and I'm like, let's
But
whatever.
did she want to fly a kite?
No,
That
she
is
didn't. She did not want to be there. It was in her face.
So maybe go kiting and bring some sweets or treats or something for your spouse that you know they'll
Whatever
enjoy.
you plan, think of the
That
other
they
person.
can eat while they're watching you kiting.
I know. No, but I was getting it ready for her to take over, and she was like, fun, yeah. She did not. It was clear to see she did not want to be there. Yeah.
Okay, so we have come to a conclusion that please remember that it's your spouse doing it too.
Yeah.
So do not choose. Don't go with what Miguel and I say because
Yeah.
I made my husband run on a fun run and that was not
And then
fun
didn't
for
even
him.
plan a fun activity after. That was it.
He took Tegan kiting. That was not fun for her.
Yeah. So when you plan these dates, keep the other person in mind, right?
Ask them. But make it fun and maybe do new experiences together.
Yeah, where
That
you're
would
both
be a
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, get to know the comfort level of the other
Oh,
person.
yeah,
because
yeah.
You also don't want to throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for. Hello, what up? What's MJ Garcia? What's up, buddy? How you doing?
You were here before too, right?
He was, and then this guy just disappeared weeks ago, and
Months?
so I don't
It
know.
was like literally the other day. He's
No.
been here.
He was here for
Finances. You're right. Where have you been?
Yeah, finances, dude. Like last month. Like what this thing, man? MJ. Anyways, love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Mike, you're awesome.
Thank you.
We'll definitely have Mike on the podcast in the future as well.
Oh, anything that has to do with planning or like budgeting or things like that, he is the man.
Yeah.
He is the man.
So we're taking a look at how doing our podcast now live, face to face versus in separate places. Anyways, let us know what you think if you like the setup a little bit better, and also make sure to like, share, subscribe to all of our social media outlets. The information is actually right here. If you can just right underneath there, right? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps us out. If you have any questions, contact us, info@mtclife.com. Love you guys.
Bye. So good to see you all.
Later, Gators.
Peace, everybody.
Finances and the water. Yeah, the water intake.
100%. See, did you know that Miguel is now drinking water? This guy went from drinking no water. He was like,
I did not
he
drink
was
water.
dry as a cotton ball.
Okay, bye everyone. Take care.